Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 4.11. Now in this particular Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is helping us to understand some key terms and terminology in the process of the Sanskara-Vasana creation. And he's explaining that if this entire cycle is to be broken down, we need to understand these terms and how the cycle arises in the first place, so that we can systematically understand how to work around it. So let's take a good look at the sutra, start breaking it up word by word and understanding what this sutra is all about. So the sutra itself goes, Hetu phalashraya lambanaya sangrahitat vadesham bhave tadabhavaha. Alright, so this is the sutra itself. Now let's look at each of the words and start breaking them up even further. The first word that we have here is hetu, and hetu refers to the cause of something. So what is happening in the first three words here is we're being given the foundational elements of the process of the Sanskara-Vasana formation. So we're going to understand what these three terms are and then dive deeper into it. So the first one, of course, is hetu, which is the cause. The second word is the phala, which means the fruit or the result. The third is the ashraya, which essentially refers to the place of refuge, or like the safe place, the holding place of all the karmas. So we're referring more so to the karmashraya, but here the word ashraya has been used. And then the fourth word is alambana, which means in support of or through the support of. So some commentators count the fourth word alambana also as part of the foundational elements that make up this entire process of the karma vasana formation. But the books that we follow and the commentators that we follow are taking only the first three as the foundational elements and are considering the fourth word as literally just the meaning, which is support. Alright, so we'll come to that a little later, but this is what it is for now. Then coming to the next word, we have sangrahitatva. And this essentially refers to the property of being held together. So sangha often indicates togetherness, coming together. That's why even sometimes in Buddhism and even in Hinduism, we say sangha to indicate a community, a togetherness of people. So that's why this root is being used here. And then it's being said that this has the property of being held together. So with reference to the previous three words, it's saying all of these are held together through the support of. And then coming to the next word, we have esham. So that is saying of these. And then the next word indicates abhava. Abhava means disappearance of something. The next word is tad, which is saying it's or there. And then the final word is once again abhava, which means absence or disappearance. So now let's try to understand what is being said with respect to the sutra. So here we are being told particularly that in order for the disappearance of the Sanskara-Vasana to really take place, there needs to be the disappearance of any one or all of the foundational elements which form the process of the sanskara and the vasana formation. And these three words or terms have been given to us as hetu, phala and ashraya. So these three, either one or all three, need to be done away with for the entire process of the Sanskara-Vasana to be done away with. So this is the overall meaning of the sutra, but now let's go even deeper and start understanding how this becomes possible and what exactly the sutra is advocating. Alright, so through the sutra we are understanding that these three terms, the hetu, phala and ashraya, are of the most important in this entire process of the sanskara and the vasana formation. So now that we've understood this, let's try to understand what exactly is the hetu and how do we go forward from here. So the hetu over here is being mentioned as the ashisha, which is the will to live, and or the kleshas and the presence of the kleshas, which are the 5 pain points of life. So these two are being considered the cause or the hetu that creates karmic reactions. Now, what commentators are suggesting is most likely the first word, which is ashisha, is given preference as compared to the word kleshas, but some other commentators suggest that kleshas be taken more as the cause of karmic tendencies, because in second chapter we had learned that kleshas, are the cause of the karmashaya. So both, cases can be considered, but more likely is ashisha, and ashisha is quite comparable to abhinivesha, although they have different connotations, and abhinivesha is a klesha itself. So either way, whichever way you look at it, ultimately it's indicating to us that the will to live is the cause of all the karmic tendencies and reactions. So how you can imagine it is, think of it as a 3-legged stool. Okay, the entire process as a 3-legged stool. One end hetu, phala, ashraya. If the hetu goes away, so imagine one leg goes away from that 3-legged stool, then the whole karma process goes out of balance, because the sanskara and the vasanas are going to go out of balance if the will to live is not there anymore, right? If the will to be a separate individual is not there anymore, and instead you want to merge with the infinite, then your will to be a separate individual goes away as one of those legs of that 3-legged stool. Then we look at the second word, which is essentially the phala. Now the phala is the fruit of the action that we keep desiring because we don't have detachment. So in this case, we need to create a very strong sense of vairagya or detachment to not want the fruits of our actions, which of course easier said than done, but a yogi who has reached this far in their experiential reality will definitely be well versed with the process of vairagya. So he or she is not going to find it challenging to be able to have para vairagya, or the highest kind of detachment. Okay, so coming back to the example of the 3-legged stool, that one leg went away with the will to live. But if that also continues to stay, then the second leg, which is talking about the phala or the attachment, if that goes away, then also the process can be upturned and changed. So that's the second option. And the third is the ashraya, which is the karmashraya itself. Now this one is pretty simple. If the will to live is not there, will to live as an individual is not there, the will to carry out karmic tendencies is not there, at the same time there's a very high level of detachment, then by default there will be nothing to store, right? Because nothing new is being taken in and nothing new is being produced. So automatically the karmashaya becomes 0. And if that happens, then the third leg of the stool also goes away. So now that we know what these foundational elements are, if one or all of them in togetherness go away, the whole process of karmic sanskara formation collapses. And this is what the yogi wants, because he or she is trying to progress towards Kaivalya. So they want that karmic journey to end. And so they will purposefully either work towards removing the cause itself, which is the individual will to live, or they will work towards removing the phala, which is the attachment to the fruits of their actions, or entirely the karmashaya itself, which houses all of these. And by doing so, he or she will actually master the process of karmic sanskaras and vasanas and be able to rise above them. This is really of great importance, because once we realize how big a role desire plays in the entire karmic process, we realize that with no desire, that's it. If you have no desire, you're not attached to anything, there isn't going to be any more karmic tendency created at all. And so if none of that is being created, then the yogi has a greater chance to work towards Kaivalya and to go towards that region without being reliant on any of these 3 foundational elements of this karma sanskara process. So this is what this Yoga Sutra is trying to explain, that the disappearance of either one of these 3 or all will lead to the disappearance of the karmic vasana formation or the Sanskara-Vasana formation. So this is a really important sutra in the Kaivalya path, and I hope you've been able to understand this a little bit better. Of course, as always, this is simply a glimpse into the particular, thematic understanding of the sutra. We cover it in much more detail in our classes, courses, and workshops, the links to which are in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel because we release new videos every single week, and drop your thoughts, suggestions, and comments in the comment section below. Apart from that, please do share this video with your friends and family, especially those that are studying the Yoga Sutras or yoga philosophy and are learning more and more about this journey. With that, I look forward to seeing you in the next video or in our next class. And until then, take care, keep practicing, and we're going to see you very soon in the next one. Namaste.